what is going on? Today we're going to do a little midday Q&A. I've got zero agenda. I've got no lesson plan. I've got no topics. I've got nothing. Just time to answer y'all's questions. So I'm going to hop on here. I'm going to chill for about an hour. I am going to monitor both the paid Facebook group for the Real Deal Video Strategist Club, as well as the free group. So if you're in the free group and you have questions about your business or how to get leads or how to get sales or distribution strategies or anything like that, go ahead and put them in here. And I will just kind of chill out and answer questions. So let me actually go ahead and bring up the Facebook group so that way I can pull these up. But I hope everybody's having a great day. Guys, I'm pretty excited. We got some cool stuff going on. Let me mute this guy. Pull these up. Mute. We've got some cool stuff happening. If you guys are not aware, we are going to introduce my financial advisor, Ben Randall, to our club. Ben is, he's awesome. He manages all my 401ks, my IRAs, my investments, my life insurance, all that stuff that as an entrepreneur, I just don't want to do because it's like who wants to deal with that stuff? But I know that it needs to get done. He's the one that does it for me. So we're going to introduce him to the group. That way, everybody will have an opportunity to ask him questions that you obviously you might be curious about or whatever. But also, if you want to hire him, he's available to work with pretty much anybody in the United States. So we're going to be talking to him tonight. Don't miss that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then tomorrow, just so you guys are aware, we are doing a strategist happy hour. I've got my bar kind of halfway set up, which is awesome in my new house. And we're just going to kind of network. We're going to get to know each other a little bit better, see how everybody's week went. I'm going to have a drink or two. We'll happen to see, maybe 3. I get hungover sometimes, so probably cut off at 2. So anyways, send me y'all's questions, guys. What do you guys want to talk about? Hey, Lay, it's good to see you in here. Let's see what else we got. Okay, Mason. Mason's got questions already coming in, and I love it. Mason, let me read your question here. Okay, I got a haircut the day before yesterday and was actually able to convert a warm client that has quite a few locations, locker room, haircuts. What's the best way to reach out to them and set up a discovery meeting? They were already interested when I gave them my elevator pitch. Okay, so let me understand this. Explain to me what a locker room haircut is. Is that just the name of the franchise or the brand or the business? Sounds pretty awesome. Reminds me of when I was in the Army and we had our barracks barber was my best friend in the Army. His name was Doherty, but on Sundays, everybody would line up outside his door and he would cut everybody's hair because we had to have a fresh haircut for formation on Monday morning. So locker room barber, barracks barber, same thing. Okay. They're a franchise. Yes. Okay, cool. So the person that you spoke with, Mason, do they own a franchise or are they like the corporate? And like, explain to me a little bit about there, if that makes sense. Like a franchise owner being like, I want to buy into the franchise and I'm going to get a locker room haircut location and that's going to be my location. Or did you get a chance to speak with the corporate who actually sells the franchise? They own the location. Okay, cool. So franchises are interesting because obviously they have to go out and promote their location, their part of the business, and grow their sales for their business. So they have the ability to go out and do that, but at the same time, they have to deal with what's called brand standards, right? Where big corporate, the people selling the franchise are going to say, you have to fall within these requirements for our brand in your content if you're going to create content and all this stuff. So I found that, typically working or even talking to franchise owners, like the location owners, can be a little bit tough because there's a lot of back and forth. What can we do and what can't we do? And how can we fit in this left and right limit to make sure that we are following the brand standards? And with that said, Mason, to answer your question, the best way to get them to a table is just call them up, man. I mean, you've already kind of generated some interest. If you got their phone number, you got their email, if you got their contact information, give them a call. Hey, listen, it was great talking to you the other day. Really appreciate all the great service that you guys always give me when I come in. The hair's always looking nice. I appreciate it. We did chat a little bit about what I do. I'd love to set up a meeting with you and see if there's something that we can put together to help you grow your part of this franchise. I've got some ideas already, but I would love to just, get to know you and see if there's something there. But there's no other way around it other than just to ask, dude. I mean, that's really all it is to just ask for the meeting. Nothing more complicated than that. So, our website is terrible and we need help. Is that what they said? That their website is terrible and they need help? Fabian, I see you have a question there, brother. I'm going to get to yours in just a second. Let me finish answering Mason's question. Okay. So listen, I would set up that meeting, just call and say, hey, listen, you guys voice some concerns about your website and your content currently. And it sounds to me like you're looking to grow your business, which who isn't? Let's set up some time to talk and let me ask some questions and I can bring you some strategies, some ideas that will help you do that. And we can find a way to make that happen for you. So Mason, I hope that answers your question, dude. That's all it is, dude. You just got to ask for the meeting. Okay. Fabian, can you share a little bit more about your paid program? What are you marketing topics covered there, paid traffic, et cetera? Yeah, Fabian. So our paid program, and I don't want to talk too much about it, just mainly because this is to answer questions about other people's business. But if you're curious about our paid program, what we do is we teach the business and strategy side of being a creative entrepreneur, specifically in the video industry. So we do not teach you how to pick up your camera. We don't teach you about your ISO settings or your white balance or how to turn on your audio or your lighting or anything like that. We very, very rarely talk about anything camera related. We do have like one thread in our Facebook group. It's called our Tech Tuesday post, where we'll talk about that kind of stuff. But for the most part, we're talking about like, how do we get in front of the business owners? Like Mason just asked, like, how do I generate a meeting with these folks? How do I go through a discovery process? That way I can ask the questions that need to be asked. That way I can understand what this business truly needs. How can I put together a strategy that's actually going to get the customer the result they want? So for instance, Fabian, majority of the clients out there, they want to increase their sales. That's just what they want to do, right? There's other reasons. But like 85% of the clients that I've ever worked with, their main priority is we need more brand recognition, we need more leads, we need more sales, revenue, profit. So we teach how to put strategies together. Which videos are we going to need? Where is the audience that needs to see these videos? How can we distribute this? Is this going to be a social media ad campaign? Is it going to be an email campaign? Is it going to be an organic campaign? Like, what do we need to do to make sure that the videos that we've created are seen by the right people with the intent of getting those people to take an action, right? If we can create video strategies for our clients and we put them out into the world, we put them out into effect, and they start to see more and more growth of their business and their sales, then we create a reputation of actually getting our clients results instead of just handing them a good looking video. And one of the things that, most creators struggle with is that business and strategy part. Do you have the acumen? Do you have the business knowledge to walk into a meeting and close a deal because the business owner sees a clear path to being successful through the use of your product and your service? So that's what we cover. Hopefully that answers your question, Fabian. Like I said, I don't want to go too much into this because I'm sure that we have other questions in the group. But listen, reach out to me if you want to talk personally one-off, or reach out to anybody that's in our paid program. Everybody in the community is super pumped to be in here. We also have other resources. Like we have digital marketers that you can collaborate with. We've got people that handle SEO. We've got people that handle taxes. Like I introduced my tax person. So if you need, a resource for your taxes, we got that. Tonight, we're introducing my financial advisor. We're going to introduce my insurance agent who insures all of my gear so that you guys can ask gear insurance questions, stuff like that. So we build in resources into the actual club, not necessarily the program, but the club. That way you as an entrepreneur have professional business resources that you're going to need anyways, that are trusted and you can go work with. So Fabian, hopefully that answers your questions, brother. But like I said, if you want to reach out to me, hit me up, or reach out to anybody in the club, man. I'd almost prefer that, because you're going to get their perspective instead of me telling you how great I think our course is, because I do think it's great. But if you hear that from other people, maybe that's more impactful for you. Okay, what's the best way to ask about a budget? Dan, that's a good question. Personally, I don't like asking for a budget, because whenever I ask for a budget, either the customer is just going to say, well, I don't know what to expect, or they're going to lowball you, right? Well, I have a budget of $1,000, and then you're thinking, well, dang, I thought this was going to be like an $8,000 deal. So the best way that I handle the whole budget situation is I build enough value so that way when I get to the sales meeting, I've gone through the discovery process, I've created the video strategy, and I get to the sales meeting, what I put on the table and the way that I articulate how they are going to be more successful creates what I consider undeniable value. And that comes with practice, right? Where you can present this strategy and they just say, you know what, I have to have that. I have to have what David has, or I have to have what Dan has, or what Dom has. Dom had a meeting this morning, or Alan, or whoever's closed big deals recently. Like, I have to have that. So I don't ask them the budget. I just get to the part where I say, okay, great. Here's what it's going to take to work with me. This is the investment, and it's going to take this amount. And whatever that amount is, $5,000, $50,000, $100,000, depending on the project, I just put that there, and they have to choose to either work with me at that price point or not. If they don't like that price point and they want to negotiate budget, cool. We can start chopping off a lot of this stuff, and trimming the package down to reduce the price. But I will not reduce my price to meet the customers, or reduce my, what am I trying to say? I will not reduce the price to meet the customer's deliverables. Something like that. Basically, if they want to reduce the price, cool, we're going to take stuff off and we're going to have less deliverables. But I don't ask their budget up front. I don't. I just present them at the end, and if they see the value, then they purchase it. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, looks like Dan or Mark might be on. So Fabian, yeah, Mark probably answered my question better than I did, Fabian. So Mark is the co-creator of the Real Deal Video Strategist Club. He just responded there. We do teach, and I didn't even mention that, we do teach how to run campaigns on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Google, email marketing campaigns. We teach that. So if you want to learn how to run those type of ad campaigns, both paid and organic, my partner, Mark, runs a digital marketing agency. He actually runs 3 digital marketing agencies. So he's the one that teaches that stuff, because he's just phenomenal at that. So thanks, Mark, for the assist there in answering that question. Let me switch back. Jean-Pierre, I see your question. Let me go to the other Facebook group to see if there's any questions in there, though. Nope. Hey, thanks for the props on the new background, Dom. The record player my fiance got me for Christmas, because I want to, or was it my birthday? I want to start a record collection, even though it's super expensive. So, but then we got the vibe board back there that we've been using for all of our accountability sessions, coaching sessions like that. So thanks. I've been working on my space to make it look nice, but appreciate it, Don. I'm very curious. I saw that you had your meeting this morning. I have not had a chance to watch that video. How did it go? Give me a thumbs up. Put it in the comments how it went and where that stands. Jean-Pierre, let me answer your question. Is it worth it to try to convince price seekers? Jean-Pierre, clarify for me. What are you talking about there? Like, if somebody comes and they're just looking for the lowest price? Help me out and understand your question there. And Mason, I see you have another question. So let me get Jean-Pierre's question, and then I'll get yours. Okay. So somebody reaches out to you and they're just kind of, they're putting the fillers out there, want to see what you cost. So this is something that I think about on a broader scale, JeanPierre, that I don't want to attract those type of people. I don't want to attract those type of clients. So I had to do the work on the front end to attract the right type of clients. If I'm attracting low level people who are just like, hey, can you do this for 300 bucks? Hey, can you do this for 500 bucks? Then my targeting is off. And that's not good. Now, I'm a firm believer, and I say this all the time, and the members are probably super sick of hearing me say this, but abracadabra, that word abracadabra means what I speak, I create, or as I speak, I create, right? So everybody knows magicians say abracadabra, and then something happens. So in business, for me, what that means is that what I speak to the world is what I create, and it will attract the type of people that I want to do business with. So if I'm branding myself and I'm putting myself in the world, telling everybody that, you know, I'm the person that will do one video for you, or I'm a good videographer, I've got reasonable prices, I'm cheaper, like whatever that is, right? I see so many people out there who's got a reasonable price, who's got an affordable price. Well, reasonable and affordable are relatively speaking, right? If somebody's got a $300 budget, then a $300 price point is reasonable. Whereas my price point to do work with me is $5,000. That's not reasonable to them. But that doesn't mean that the other business wouldn't see that as reasonable or affordable. So what I put out into the world is let my network know and put on my online strategy that I'm the type of video strategist, and my team is the type of team that is going to implement full-on video strategies for serious businesses who want serious results and are willing to invest in that. And when you brand yourself like that, when you speak that to the world, that's the type of client that starts to get referred to you. And that's the type of client that you end up seeing. So I personally, JeanPierre, don't get a lot of people price seeking. And if they do, I'm able to normally catch that right away. And I just tell them, I don't know that I'm the right person for you. Let me go ahead and refer you to some other people that might be able to help you out. And I just don't go down that road. So hopefully, does that, JeanPierre, give me a thumbs up? Let me know if that makes any sense in the world. I just believe that what you have to decide what you want to be. If you want to be that person that is going for the super low end clients and you want to try to do a volume play, by all means. I'm not saying that you can't be successful doing that. It's just not for me. My network knows that if they're going to send somebody over to me, that person or that business or whoever it is better be ready to get some work done and really invest in the success of their business, because I'm going to be on that level. I'm up here. If you want to work with me, you got to come up here. I'm not coming down here. That's how it's going to work. Right on. 2 thumbs up. Thanks, JeanPierre. Good to see you in here, man. Okay, let me go to, let's see, Michael Luzecki. I see your question. Let me get back to that because Mason had another question, so I don't want to leave him hanging. What should I do if someone is getting back to me? The guy that does the home gym installs finally got married and is back to working. So I reached out again to set our final sales meeting and production days, but I still haven't heard back. We are supposed to close the deal by the end of the month and start production in October. Any tips? Just be patient and get more clients and other clients. Always get more clients and other clients. You should always be building your sales pipeline. You should never be in a situation where you are counting on one deal to land. That's a bad situation to be in, right? If this deal doesn't land, then oh crap, and then we're going to have a terrible month and I've got nothing else in the pipeline. So Mason, always be going after a pipeline to fill it up. If this guy doesn't land, cool. You've got 4 or 5 others in the pipeline that are going to land, and that work is already, the groundwork is already laid out there. Now, to answer your question about like what should you do, just do the same thing that I advised a little bit earlier, man. You got his phone number. Call him up. Hey, man, hope the wedding went great. Super happy for you. What does your schedule look like? What days do you have available? I'm going to give you three choices that I have available: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. These times, let me know if these work. Just pick them up. Just call them. Business owners should not be afraid of doing business and talking business and scheduling meetings with other business owners. That's what business is. So you shouldn't be afraid to just pick them up and give them a call. Hopefully that helps. Okay. Who was it? Michael. How do I get 4-figure, 5-figure, and 6-figure clients? Ooh, that's a good question. Michael, what's the biggest project you've ever landed? Let me know here in the comments so I can kind of see where you're at. Well, and what's the average project that you land? If Michael's still here, hopefully he is. Let me monitor the other one. Guys, I have just to the bottom of this next hour. So open forum, Q&A, midday Q&A. I'm here to help you guys out. If you have questions, put them in here and I will do my best to help you. Hey, Sea Legs. What's going on, Sea Legs? Thank you for letting me know about my new background. I appreciate you. Guys, my friend Sea Legs is here. That's awesome. We call her Sea Legs because my fiance is Courtney and Sea Legs is Courtney. So we get them confused when we say Courtney and everybody's looking at us. So she's Sea Legs and my fiance is Sea Wow. So anyways. Okay, Michael, I don't know if you're still here, man. I'm going to answer your question the best that I can, though. 4, 5, and 6-figure clients. Let's start off at the bottom. 4-figure client. That's only $1,000, right? So that's pretty simple to do. But the biggest thing, 2 things, maybe 3 that I can tell you to scaling and starting to get much larger clients. First is that you have to decide, and this was key for me, is that I decided that I wanted to run a more of a retainer-based business model, meaning that if you're going to work with me, you're going to have to purchase multiple videos, right? And we're going to do that over a period of time. So if that's 1 video a month for 6 months, then you're going to retain me for 6 months, and every month we're going to create a video. And that's going to cost you $15,000, whatever the number is, right? Again, like I said earlier, I didn't want to put myself out into the world and tell everybody that I'm the person that can create one amazing video for you. No. If you're going to work with me, I'm telling the world that you are going to have to work with me on a retainer basis, right? So these are the type of clients that I attract. So once I started to do that, at the very beginning of my business, I started to be able to land that. So, and then I'd have clients that were like, small ones, 4 months. I'm going to retain you for 4 months. We're going to create 4 videos and we're going to stretch it out. And then over time, it grew bigger and bigger to the point where my biggest clients is a home builder. We're going on 12, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 29-month contract, 28-month contract. 28-month contract. We're looking to extend that contract at the end of this year. We'll see how that goes. They're an awesome company, but they've retained me to do work for that time period. And now that's, a $280,000 deal. So to answer your question, how do I get 4-figure clients? How do I get 6-figure clients? You have to create more than 1 video for them. Otherwise, you're going to be on the smaller budget side for just 1 video kind of thing. Unless it's a huge on production and they give you $50,000 to create a Super Bowl commercial, but then your profit margin is low because you spent so much on overhead to create the commercial. Yeah, that's what I suggest. Second thing, I really got to focus on the strategy, man, the distribution. When you go talk to a business owner, they want the strategy. They want you to show them the game plan. How are you going to make me more successful, right? Think about any coach for any sport that's out there. They don't just wing it. They have a game plan. They show the team, this is the game plan, how we are going to win this upcoming game. Same thing in this industry, right? You've got to show them, I am going to create these 5 videos for you, and each one of them has a specific purpose. We're going to create 2 promo videos for you. These are going to be used as Facebook ads and Instagram ads. The purpose of these videos is to drive traffic to your website. We have people stop what they're doing on social media and go to your website. Once they're on your website, a lot of stuff's going to happen. We're going to collect their data. We're going to collect all of their information and their characteristics. That way we can create lookalike audiences and we can multiply that and start to target even more people that meet the criteria of the person that already showed interest and came to the website. But when they're on the website, we're going to provide them with more video content. We're going to provide them with a brand message video. We're going to provide them with testimonial videos, question and answer videos. We're going to provide them with all this content on the website. That way, they get to know us a little bit better and they do business with us, right? Even on the back end, once they become a customer, we are going to send out videos to our current customers to get them to come back and buy more product or service. There has to be a strategy and with an understanding of distribution, because if all you do is go to a business owner and you're like, man, I can make that video for you. I can make it look awesome. I got great gear. I shoot in 8K now, right? I color grade. I do all this stuff. That doesn't mean anything to them. What they want to know is, how are you going to make me more successful? What is the roadmap to you achieving the results that I want? So when it comes to landing bigger clients and you're at that sales table, you got to be able to articulate how that is going to happen. Otherwise, all you are is a videographer, right? That's all you are. And there's plenty of videographers out there. So make sure that you have a good grasp on strategy and distribution to generate results. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so Michael, I see you here. You said, my biggest project yet or most professional project is this commercial I made for an editing contest. I literally made it in under a day. That sounds cool. I can't see the commercial though, so I don't know what it is. But Michael, hopefully what I just spoke on answered your question. Fabian, okay, let's get to Fabian. David, 3 recommendations for someone is just starting out. How do you get clients if there is no product to work? Fabian, explain that just a little bit better for me. If there's no product to work, what do you mean by that? And I'm going to look in the other group to see if anybody has questions. A lot of questions coming from the free group, no questions coming from the paid group. Dang, I must have taught you guys everything that I know, and then you guys are just masters at what you're doing. I love it. Okay, I'll go check out your Facebook after this to check out that commercial. Okay, Fabian, so I think what you're saying is that you don't have any video to show. You don't have a brand message video for yourself. You don't have a demo reel. You don't have maybe video in that industry. Clarify a little bit more on that so we can drill down and I can get you a much better answer. Do you have like a general demo reel or brand message video? What do you currently have? There's like a delay. So you know what? I'll just answer both ways. Yes, you have a general reel. Okay. So what I think you're asking, Fabian, is I've got a general reel, but I've got a potential client or somebody that I want to talk to that's in a completely different industry that I've never filmed in before. So did I skip somebody's question? I think I may have. But Fabian, I'm going to answer your question and I'll get back to that other question. Top 3 tips, I think it was. I'll get back to that. So Fabian, a couple ways that you can go about it, man, is when you speak to that business owner, if you land a discovery meeting, present yourself as somebody that doesn't necessarily have to film in any one industry, right? So what my team does is we help any business to achieve what they're looking to achieve by getting people to take the actions that we want them to take or that our clients want them to take. So, Mr. Business Owner, if you could snap your fingers and make more people do something, anybody in your entire business ecosystem, your customers, your employees, your investors, your shareholders, your business partners, if you could snap your fingers and more people would do something, what would that be? More times than not, they say, well, we want our customers to buy more of our product or service. Okay, cool. So what my team does or my company does for our clients is we create video strategies with distribution included. And this is how I do it, right? Because distribution has to happen. With the intent of getting people to take that action. We can make the correct videos, show them to the correct audience, multiply that audience, and compel them to take an action, which is buying your product or service, right? Let me let me make sure I'm completely understanding your question. Okay, yes. So we work with a ton of different industries, right? And list off all the industries you've worked with, right? So for me, I've worked with tech industries, I've worked with doctors, I've worked with home builders, nonprofits. I have never worked with a company that, say, does like an airline school, like a flight school. Never done it, right? But that doesn't mean that I can't sit down in a discovery meeting, learn what they truly need, understand their audience, and come up with a plan of what videos this audience needs to see, and put those videos in front of that audience for them to take the action that the client wants them to take. So you just have to present yourself as somebody that can make that happen regardless of the industry. Does that make sense, Fabian? Hopefully that makes sense. Oh, yeah, that was your question about the top 3 things. Okay, cool. Dan, you should be able to get into this. It's just live streaming inside the paid group. So maybe refresh the page. I know you're in our paid group, excuse me. So it should be there. Shouldn't be hard to find. But if not, if you're having problems anyways, hit me up afterwards and I'll make sure that you are squared away there. Okay, let's see. We got some more questions here. Nate Mert. What's going on, Nate? Have a meeting with the owner of a fitness franchise tomorrow. Cool, another franchise. I have done video for a similar studio, but it was way before the Real Deal Video Strategist Club. So I was one and done that didn't get used properly. You touched on franchises being bottlenecked a bit by corporate. How should I approach the meeting tomorrow? Just ask, like, what is the process to create content with your company in regards to the brand standards that corporate is going to give to us, and explain why you're asking that. Just say, we've kind of talked to other franchises or worked with other franchises before, and what we found is that we have great ideas, but then corporate says that we have to tweak the ideas or we have to change this and that to meet their brand standards. So before we kind of go down that road, do you happen to know what the brand standards are? And usually what happens with franchises is that corporate will have a published list or a published document that outlines the brand standards. And that franchisee can come and say, okay, listen, this is what corporate's telling me. They're telling me that this, if we're going to create our own content, has to follow these guidelines and these rules. And that's generally how it's worked when I've worked with franchisees. You just have to get those brand standards to be able to do that, and then you can make it happen. One of the ones that comes to mind, Nate, and especially in the fitness industry, and they do this a lot, is F45. F45 is, they're taking over. They're all over the place. They're all over where I'm at, but I know they're nationwide at this point. And each franchisee is kind of required to go and generate their own business, as pretty much every franchisee in any industry is, but they are able to create content. So they just have to follow the rules of what F45 says. You got to do this. So that I would just flat out ask that. Brian Garcia, I'm trying to figure out how I'll be approaching clients if I have wedding and real estate work. It sounds like you sort of answered it already. Yeah, Brian. So you just have to go out there and be more of, I hate to say the word generalist because that's not it, but just somebody that can sit down with the business owner and understand their pain points, understand their priorities, understand their needs, and then create a strategy for that. So if you get to the point where they're interested in having a conversation, however you generated that lead, right? Whether it's been referred to you or you sparked up a conversation or they've been to your wedding, however they get to the point, they say, Brian, I'm interested in talking to you about video for our business. Like, how do we go about this, right? And you're like, oh crap, man, like this is an athletics company, but I only have real estate and I only have weddings. Don't tell them that. Don't let them see you sweat. Okay, great. I can absolutely help you out with that. But there's a couple of things that I need to do in order to make sure that we are successful in a campaign, in a video strategy, if in fact we do work together. So let me let you know what my process is. First part of the process is we need to go through a discovery session. The discovery session is about a 1-hour meeting. This is where I just ask all the questions I need to ask. I need to learn your company like the back of my hand. I really need to have a good grasp on that. And I also need to know, kind of figure out what your priorities are, who your audience is, like all this stuff that I need to figure out before I can even suggest anything. So that's going to be meeting number one. Meeting number two is just going to be after meeting number one, I'm going to go do my homework into your industry. I'm going to look at your industry. I'm going to look at your current presence. I'm going to look at your current videos. I'm going to look at your current strategy. I'm going to look at your competition. I'm going to do a whole bunch of homework, and then I'm going to create a strategy. I'm going to create a full-on strategy that I think is going to help you achieve your objectives. And then we'll come back on meeting two and we'll go over that. And if you like it, then we'll go ahead and move forward. They don't need to know that you've only done weddings. All they need to know is that you listened to what they were saying. You took the time to understand them. You took the time to understand their pain points, and you've created something that is going to help them out. And if you go back to the sales table and you put that on the table and they understand it and it's simple and they can see the roadmap to success, then it shouldn't matter if you've only done weddings. They are going to put the value on that and say, yes, I want to do business with you because what you've put in front of me is valuable and I see the value and I want to move forward. So I wouldn't stress on the fact that you don't have these type of industries. Same answer is the last one, hopefully. So Brian, hopefully that answers your question. Nate Merck, how do you say you're welcome in Italian? Matt, that's because you're not in the paid group, dude. My other buddy, Matt, is in here. Matt, you're watching in the free group. So we have a whole another private Facebook community that's simultaneously live streaming in the group. So you're probably not going to be able to see that because you're not in that group. Okay, what other questions? Prego. Is that how you say it? Prego. Everybody assumes that I'm Italian because of my last name. Not even close to Italian. I think it was like 1% Italian when my dad did the whole ancestry thing. So yeah, grazie, prego. Very cool. What other questions you guys got? I see we got 4 people in the free group watching, 6 people. We got 12 people in the paid group. Guys, what's up? Just a reminder that tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, we are introducing another amazing resource, an amazing business professional to our group. Let me recap the ones that we already have in our group. So in the paid group, it's not just us video strategists. One of the things that Mark and I wanted to do over time was start to introduce people who work in the fields that entrepreneurs need, right? So like digital marketing people, insurance people, contract lawyers, financial advisors, CPAs and accountants, stuff like that, bookkeepers. These are the type of services that us as entrepreneurs absolutely need in order to run a successful business. So we've started to bring on all of these people, right? We've got Josh Stockel, who is awesome at SEO. So if you land a deal with the client and they need SEO, we've got somebody in the group that does that. We have got Joel Keith and his partner, Nick, who are digital marketers. So if you land a contract, a video deal, and you don't necessarily want to run the ad campaigns, you've got them. Obviously, you have Mark, who's the co-creator of the club. You can always reach out to him. And if he's available to collaborate with and the project's right for him, then you can collaborate with him. Austin Leeds is another digital marketer that we've brought in. Recently, I brought in Renee Law. She is my bookkeeper and tax professional. She handles all my bookkeeping. She pays all my taxes. She pays my payroll. She pays all that stuff. I highly recommend her, and you guys are able to work with her. And then tonight we are introducing Ben Randall, who is my financial advisor. He handles my IRAs. We're going to set up a SEP IRA. Guys, I'm excited to set up my SEP IRA. I didn't even know this was a thing. But a SEP IRA apparently reduces my tax liability, and I'm all about paying less taxes to Uncle Sam because I already pay enough. So Ben's going to handle that for me. My investments, the stock market, like that kind of stuff. He also handles my life insurance. We don't think about life insurance a lot of times, but you build a business and then all of a sudden one day something happens and you're gone. What happens to your family? This is something that entrepreneurs that don't know a lot of times think about. So these resources are in the club, and you can ask for their help. You can ask questions, or you can flat out hire them, mainly because I trust them, and you have a trusted source of business to go do these things. So that's going to be tonight. Ben Randall tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you are there to check that out. Lay, is our group open to more than one company who is in a specific field, like another accountant? Yeah. Lay, we're going to bring more people on like that. But obviously I want to make sure that they're trusted. So I want to vet them. So that's why I'm introducing people that I trust and I've already done business with. That way, we're not putting people in there that I don't know. So we'll get to that eventually, and we'll add more people like that eventually. So if you have somebody that you can recommend, by all means, let me know. But Mark and I would have to vet them to make sure that they're good to go. Where can we find a list of these people? Scott, that's a great question. I don't have a list of these people, but you know what? I will make one for you, and I will stick it. I'll stick it in the course. I'll put it somewhere where you guys have a list of these people. That's a real good idea. Feedback. I appreciate the feedback, because sometimes those simple things just like that right over my head. So Scott, thank you. I got that for you. Okay. David is my rich dad. I'm not quite rich yet, dude. We're working on that though. Working on it. Nate, making me laugh here, man. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see here. Did not see what else we got. Anybody else have questions? I got about 20 minutes before I have to hop off and get some work done before our meeting with Ben tonight. How much success have you seen with TRD VS members networking in LinkedIn? Dan, that's a good question. LinkedIn, honestly, is a great place to look if you're a B2B situation, more so than a B2C situation. So there's people out there that are using LinkedIn really, really well, and there's people that are completely neglecting it. Personally, I think LinkedIn is a gold mine, and you should all be in LinkedIn. I want to be active in LinkedIn more. I've just been so busy with the Real Deal and with my already clients that I already have, that I haven't been as active in there as I should. But LinkedIn is an awesome source for networking. It's an awesome source for hyper targeting the people that you want to target. My suggestion is that if you're on LinkedIn, go and connect with every director of marketing in your area. It doesn't matter what type of business they're in. Doesn't matter if they're a director of marketing for a car dealership or a lawyer or a doctor or a university or whatever it is. Connect with them, put content on your LinkedIn, be active on your LinkedIn. That way, those directors of marketing, the people who are going to hire you, right, or who are tasked with the marketing of their company, right? The CEO doesn't do that, or the CEO shouldn't be doing that kind of work. They hand that off to the director of marketing. The director of marketing has a mandate to go out and market the business. So in order to do that, they need resources like video strategists, right? So if you're in front of them all the time, if you've made connections, if you're making one-on-ones through LinkedIn, you can do that. And the great thing about LinkedIn is that you can connect with like 30,000 people. So you can just go in there and connect with directors of marketing, director of marketing, and connect with a bunch of them. So my home builder client, who I do a lot of work for, like 29 months or 28 months of work for, they got me on LinkedIn. They reached out to me on LinkedIn. So, but I don't know, Dan, if I know anybody specifically in the club, any members who have focused on that super big time. So if you have anybody that's watching this, if you've had success using LinkedIn, give Dan some of your pointers and your thoughts. Marketing directors, yes. Okay, cool. Lawson, what's up, Lawson? Let me see your question here. Do you see value in bringing on additional full-time team members in your production company, or do you prefer to be a one-man band? Oh, this is a deep question, Lawson. This is a real deep question. Okay, as a one-man band, what I found is profit margins are high, right? If you can book clients where you don't need to hire a bunch of people and you don't need to do all this other extra stuff, right? And you are comfortable and confident creating good looking videos from the creation aspect. I can go on set, I can film this by myself and it's going to look amazing. Then your overhead is much lower, which means that your profit margin is higher. Now, with that said, it's not always like that. Sometimes you need a second camera operator. You need somebody to handle the audio. You need somebody for the lighting, right? It depends on the situation. And every different creative venture is like that, right? So for me, what I have done that has worked really well is that I've hired contractors. I've kind of networked and I have a group of people that I trust. I have an extra camera operator that I trust. For instance, I hire from the Real Deal Video Strategist Club. So whenever I have projects down in the Houston area, which I do somewhat regularly, I'm calling Denise. I'm calling Denise and Chuck and I'm saying, hey, I need extra camera operators. Are you guys available? And I bring them on, right? And I've done this quite a few times, depending on the project and location. But what this does for me is allows me to bring on a trusted circle of professionals to come and help me out film. But at the same time, I don't have to deal with the W-2. A W-2 employee can be hard, right? Because then you have to, pay their payroll. There's all kinds of insurances. There's liability to having W-2 employees. There's all this overhead that just kind of piles up and digs into the profit margin. So for me, I've built a team of people that I trust and I can call on when I need additional help for filming. So that's the way I've worked. And honestly, it's worked really, really well. So Lawson, hopefully that answers your question. Thumbs up if that answered your question. Who else got something? Who's got something good going on this week? Anybody do anything fun this weekend? I've got to work a little bit. Actually, I got to work a lot, but I'm going to try to sneak away for a round of disc golf. It's been a little bit since I've been to a round of disc golf, so I need to go play. Who plays disc golf? Anybody play disc golf? Required workman's comp insurance when you have an employee too. Yeah, Lay, that's just that kind of stuff, right? Like, and that takes up too much of my brain power. Like workman's comp, insurances, do I have to provide them benefits? What happens if I need to fire them because they're terrible? Like, then do I have to pay unemployment? Woo! That's just something that I don't want to do. So as of right now, I have zero full-time employees, and I don't anticipate taking on any full-time employees anytime soon. I hire as needed on a contract or 1099 basis. Mason plays disc golf. Man, we got to get out there and play around, dude. We got to link up somewhere and go play around. That's so fun. Where do you play at, Mason? Fabian, you're welcome, brother. Anything that I can do to help. We started the free group, so I like to come in here and provide value. I know that a lot of folks are never going to buy my program, and that's all right, but I'm still going to be here for them as much as possible to answer questions and provide help. I know what it's like to have questions and need help and not have a resource to get those answers. So I like to help when possible. So hopefully you're getting plenty of value in the free group. And then, yeah, one day we'll see you in the paid group, man. One day, Black Friday, maybe, when we do a sale or something. Lawson, awesome, brother. Glad that answers your question. All right, Mason, let's see if we can get a round of disc golf in this weekend. I want to play this weekend sometime, maybe like Cat Hollow or Williamson County or someplace like that. Let me know if you're free. Send me a PM. I want to try to get out, dude. I've been working a little bit too hard. I need a break. Brian, okay, let me see. This weekend, slammed with weddings this year. I want to focus on this other type of industry, but looking for time. Brian, that's tough, man. I'll tell you what, I've got all the respect in the world for wedding videographers. That is not an easy gig, man. That is not easy. I filmed one wedding and I wasn't even the primary. I was a second shooter. B Davis, who's in our club, she was one of our original members, like our pilot group members. First, I think she was the first 10 people that signed up for the club. A little bit after she signed up for the club, she said, "Hey man, I booked this wedding in Dallas. I've never done a wedding. I'm kind of stressed out about it. Do you have any pointers?" And I was like, "I got 0 pointers. I never filmed the wedding, 0 pointers." But I was like, "You know what? I want to connect with you, B. I want to help you out. You jumped into the club. You took a chance on us. So I want to pay it forward." So I was like, "I'll be your second shooter." So I drove up to Dallas and we filmed that wedding, man. And I'll tell you what, at the end of that day, I was smoked. I was tired. My back hurt. My arms hurt. My head hurt. I had a long drive back. I was like, man, I don't know how wedding videographers do this. All I could think about was, man, did we get the audio right? Were my settings right? Was I shooting in 60 frames per second? Did I adjust my shutter speed? Like, you guys are awesome. I will say, however, that weddings, even though they can be fun and even though they can be super profitable, there's going to be a ceiling for most revenue in that industry, right? There's top end wedding videographers that'll charge $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 per wedding. But those are like, they're premium, right? I'd say the majority of wedding videographers that I talk to now are anywhere in the range of $2,500 to $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 maybe. And the thing that I don't like, other than all the hard work, I enjoyed it, but I don't do it again. What I don't like is that the wedding is, you have to go and book 30 weddings. You got to go book 30 clients and 30 couples and create 30 videos. I would much rather book one client, one awesome corporate client, and create 30 videos for that one client, right? Then I spend less time trying to fill up my pipeline, less time trying to close deals with brides and dealing with bridezillas and dealing with, all that other stuff that comes along with weddings. So yeah, man, if you have questions about, jumping into corporate and trying to, do more in that realm, hit me up, man. We'll see if we can schedule some time to chat. And that's just my take, but mad ups to you guys who do weddings. It's a beast. Man, Mason, I'm not good either. I'm not great at disc golf either. I just started playing middle of May. I don't know, something like that. So not so great. Ooh, cool. More questions. All right. Garnell, let's see. When you initially started your business and made sales, what would you say was your best 3 investments on the gear side? I'll talk about gear. I don't talk about gear very often, but I'll talk about gear. Garnell, when I launched my business, dude, I had a Canon 60D. I actually still have it here. This is my camera right here. I keep this just to remind myself of where I came from. Canon 60D with a Tamron 28-75. 60D, if you've ever filmed on a 60D, you'll understand how hard it is to film on a 60D. The capabilities are not very great. Terrible low light, terrible autofocus, terrible pretty much everything, but that's what I had. I had that, and I had a Rode, the Rode Go mic that you put on top of here like this, and I had a GoPro, and that's what I had to start with. So the best 3 investments that I made gear side was my first Ronin S. I love the Ronin S, and I used it on this camera, but this camera doesn't have image stabilization, so I couldn't do anything handheld, right? So the Ronin S allowed me to get smooth footage and actually make it look somewhat decent. Second was, let's see here, my editing computer. My iMac is killer. I love my iMac. It's always done me good, and it allowed me to edit. Before that, I was editing on like some HP laptop that was from like 2008. So my editing laptop, or not laptop, desktop, and I would say probably my lights and my audio. And In fact, I'm using one of my first lights, my Aperture 120D. That's my key light here that's using here. And the audio that I picked up were a pair of lavalier mics from Ceramonic. There was 2 transmitters and 1 receiver. So I could lob up 2 people, and that got the job done a little bit better than my little video GoPro or Pro mic, the Rode mic, or whatever that is. So that was my top 3 from a gear standpoint. Is that what you were asking? Oh, you said gear aside, I think. Can you clarify? I'm a little bit confused. I can do weddings. Do you need help? I don't need help because I don't film weddings. I don't hire wedding videographers. A lot of you guys know Adam Grumbo. He's in a few of the groups. He's filming my wedding in like 45 days. Him and Patrick Nye. Patrick's in the club as well. Patrick, I think Patrick will be there. I hope he is. Let's see. Toyan, saving up. Real deal, hard to get into the paid group. The value you already give speaks of itself. Yeah, so the paid group is completely for the folks who have purchased our program. We do more stuff in there. We do accountability sessions every week. We do coaching sessions, one-on-one. We do strategy sessions. Dom, man, we did a strategy session with him the other day. He recorded a discovery meeting, and we hopped on and helped him come up with some ideas that he could pitch at a sales meeting. So that kind of stuff we save just because that's like extreme amounts of value. Well worth I think we're selling right now for $500 to get in. The normal price is $1,000. We got a sale going for $500. So that alone is worth the $500. All the strategy sessions, all the trainings. We do club training every once in a while. I try to at least a month do a club training where we train on a certain subject or a certain industry or whatever it is. So Toyin, we would love to see you in the club when the time is right, man. If you need that 50% off link, let me know and I can get it over to you. Michael, another question, not including gear. Garnell, okay, I got you. So investments not including gear. I invested in going to networking groups. And this was crucial at the start of my business. I left my corporate job. I didn't really have a lot of business contacts outside of the finance industry, which I worked for 15 years in the finance industry. So I didn't have a lot of contacts with the type of businesses that I wanted to create videos and video strategies for. So I started networking. In fact, Ben Randall, who we're doing the video with tonight, the meeting with tonight, Ben Randall is one of the leaders of the very first networking group that I ever attended. That's how I got connected with him. But I started to invest in what we call pay for play networking groups. So groups where, you pay $2,500 for a lifetime membership, or you pay $900 a year or whatever it is. And I continue to invest in those groups because I start to build my network and I'm able to brand myself and put myself out there as the video strategist, the corporate video strategist. That investment alone, I think I've probably invested maybe $5,000 or $6,000 in networking groups, which sounds like a lot, especially when you're just starting your business. And you're like, holy crap, $5,000 or $6,000 is a lot of money. Those investments into those networking groups alone have generated well over probably $200,000 in revenue. Like the return on investment was 10-fold, 20-fold, 30-fold, whatever that is. So that I would say was the best investment in my business. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna go with that. If there's one thing that you can invest in business-wise. Oh, and also there's a few business courses that I took. I hired a business coach once, and that turned out really well. Again, this is all investing in myself. So I hired a business coach. He gave me a few sessions, kind of tuned up my mind, got myself going in the right direction. That was a great investment. A couple of courses. I bought Full-Time Filmmaker, which is not a gear thing, but I'll tell you what, Full-Time Filmmaker took like this little camera, this 60D, and actually made some okay stuff. and then bumped up my skills. So I always recommend that course. Those guys are awesome. Love them, love them. Okay. Alan, I've been live, dude. I've been live for like almost an hour. In fact, you're showing up with the last 4 minutes, man. The Marine's late again. Dang, late again. Okay, let me see who else has questions here. When it comes to mind, I've come a long way, baby. That's what I'm talking about, Lay. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. Love it. Where do I go to find those networking groups? It really depends. James, where are you located at? Where do you live? What part of the country, city-wise? There are a few nationwide networking groups. BNI, Business Networking International, is the largest network in the entire world. They got chapters all over the world. So BNIs are usually pretty easy to find. 1 Million Cups. What part of Illinois? Chicago, close to Chicago. 1 Million Cups is a good one. There's one called the Buzz, James, which I actually think the Buzz is getting a location, a chapter in Chicago, more towards St. Louis. Okay. I don't know if there's one in St. Louis, but really all you got to do, dude, is go to a BNI meeting, because they're everywhere, right? You can go, they usually accept visitors for like 2 or 3 times, and then you got to decide to actually pay and join the BNI. That you can't freeload forever. But if you go to a BNI and you start connecting with a lot of people there, you can ask those people what other networks are really good in this area. People who network and spend time and invest time and money in networking, they're plugged into multiple networks. So if you ask them like what other networking groups are really good, they'll be like, oh, dude, you got to go try this other group over here. It's called the Bob, Business Over Breakfast. Ben Randall, the guy that I'm talking to tonight, his is called the Bong, BONG. Got to hit that bong. It's called the Business Owners Networking Group. Some humor there. I love it. But they're everywhere. You got to find them. And once you get plugged into one and you start connecting, you can start just branching out, and they'll plug you into a whole bunch of them. So that's how I would do it. How long did it take you to see your first client from networking group? Dan, good question. I believe the first networking referral that I got from a networking group was a tech company. If I remember, it was quite some time ago, but I seem to remember landing that deal about 3 or 4 months after I started networking really hard, probably about 3 months. Sounds right. And networking is a bit of a slow burn, right? There's a long fuse to it. So I think the first 9 months I put in a lot of networking effort, thinking this is, it's going nowhere. I'm not getting any results. By about 9 months, it started to trickle in, right? I started to get leads, started to get referrals, started to get people asking. I started to build trust. And then by 16 or 17 months, that from 9 to 17 months, just exponential. I think I ended up clearing $200,000 by my 16th or 17th month in business. So I had some before 9 months, and then after it went pretty much straight up. And that was all for the most part from people that I had networked with or had sent referrals over to me. Good question. Okay. Let me see if I have any. I know I missed it completely again. LOL. What's something you'd like to see TRD members embrace more often? Our accountability sessions. We do accountability sessions, and we've got a good group of people that show up on a regular basis. But Philip Pearson reached out to me right when I started doing the accountability sessions. He's like, "You're going to do these accountability sessions?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's great, man," because we were about to pay a business coach like $1,000 a month to do weekly accountability sessions. So this is great. And Philip has been on almost every single accountability session every single week since we started. And really what we're doing is, it's not a coaching session, guys. So for those of you who are watching who have not been to our accountability sessions, and this is for the paid group, it's not a coaching session. It's a, what are your goals for this month? Let's set a revenue goal. You want to close a 5-figure month? Okay, we're going to put $10,000 on the board as your goal. And how many deals does that look like? Is that 3 deals? Is that 2 deals. How many deals is that? Okay, cool. We've established our goals, and then we look at your sales pipeline. So we look at your warm leads, we look at your hot leads, we look at what you're doing to generate leads, and we see the progress of how those leads go through your sales pipeline to the point where you close them. And every single week we set your weekly goals. So you say, David, I am going to visit 3 networking groups. I'm going to close this hot lead that I have. I am going to create a piece of content for myself, and I am going to schedule 3 one-on-ones. And the first thing that I ask you when you come to the next week accountability session is, did you get these things done? You said that you were going to do this for your business, and I am going to hold you accountable to get these things done. Did you do these things? And the people who are showing up and they're like, yep, done, 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 done. Their sales going up. Go look at Martha Garzone. I put a video in the group a while back. Every week, Martha has this giant list of to-dos, goals that she wants to complete. And I'm like, Martha, that's a lot of stuff. You sure you're going to get that stuff done? She's like, yeah, I got it. And every week she comes back and I said, did you do all the stuff? I did. Okay, let's see where your sales are. She's crushing it, crushing it. She like doubled her sales goal in the month of this month. She was already at her sales goal by like the 8th day of the month. And it was her biggest month. So I do wish that we'd have a lot more people in the accountability sessions. If you're not there, you are missing out. Alan, thank you, dude. You got me up on my soapbox and I'm going to jump on down. Let's see. Business coach was about to rack up on them. These accountability sessions are awesome, man. Gives it a real look at the progress and growth. You do notice the project's progression as you keep attending the sessions. Yeah. So Alan, we'll keep seeing you in there, dude. I'm excited to keep on going. All right, guys. Looks like I've answered all the questions, or at least there are no more questions. So I see that there's 9 people in the paid group and 6 people in the free group. Guys, the live stream tonight with Ben will be live stream into both groups. So if you want to check that out, you can. If you're in the free group and you have more questions about the Real Deal Video Strategist Club or our program, hit me up, send me a DM, ask questions. Honestly, reach out to Alan. Alan's been in the group for a while. He'll give you some honest feedback as to whether or not it's worth the investment, the $500 to join our group, or reach out to any of our other members and they'll be able to tell you what kind of value we bring. So with that said, guys, midday Q&A, all done for today. And I will see you guys in about 3 or 4 hours with Ben. So good session today, guys. And we'll see you guys here a little bit later.